Good morning. My name is Tammy Evans. I am a religious science practitioner here, intern here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. And it is my pleasure to be doing this morning's meditation for you. Find a comfortable seated position, feet on the floor, hands in your lap, palms up. Let your shoulder blades relax. Close your eyes. Relax your body. Keeping your attention on your breath. Take a nice deep breath all the way in and all the way out. As you inhale, notice your chest rise. As you exhale, notice your chest sink. Inhale, thinking let. Exhale, thinking go. Letting go of any stresses or tensions and giving your body and mind the much needed permission to relax and just be. If at any time your attention wanders, bring it back to your breath. Thinking let as you inhale and go as you exhale. You're in a safe space now. You're calm. You're balanced. Silently repeat to yourself, I am calm. I am balanced. Inhale. Notice your chest rise. Exhale. Notice your chest sink. Inhale. Exhale. If you're feeling any stress at this moment, imagine the stress is like having a storm or a hurricane in your life. The chaos that this storm brings is in your awareness. But breathe in and out. Know you are safe. Within every hurricane is an eye to the storm. Imagine that you're looking down into the hurricane, into the storm, and can see the calm, still center, the eye of the storm. Find yourself in the center of this storm with all your worries and all your stresses swirling around you, but you feel very peaceful. You're relaxed and calm. This storm is much like your life, but you're in the eye of the storm at this moment. You can see the swirling, the chaos, and you see the things that can cause you stress if you let them, but you don't. You don't because you are in the eye of the storm. You are at peace and you are calm. And you see clearly that you have a choice of whether to step into the storm and get swirled into the stress, into the chaos, or you can stay in the nice and calm place in the center. You have a choice whether you step into the storm, into the swirling chaos, or to stay calm and balanced in the center, in your center. I will now count down from 9, and by the time I reach 1, you will be peaceful, balanced, and calm. Feeling yourself centered, you now realize that you can choose relaxation in every situation. Are you centered? Or do you step out into the storm? Gently rest here for a few moments, keeping your attention on your breath. Inhaling, let. Exhaling, go. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers as you take a nice deep breath in all the way. Exhale all the way. As you take another breath in, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, releasing anything that no longer serves you. Feel connected, light, and free. Rest here a few more minutes. Then when you are ready, wiggle those toes and fingers a little more. Open your eyes. And remember to spend your day centered in the eye of the storm. Namaste.
Okay, good morning. I want to thank Tony Bernardi for playing that wonderful interlude there. Thanks, Tony. That was beautiful. I really enjoyed that. That's a clap online, everyone. This is how we clap. And good morning. My name is Jay Barnes. I'm a licensed religious science practitioner here at the Center. It is my honor and pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to Columbus Center for Spiritual Living here this morning. Welcome. That makes it official. Welcome afterwards. Welcome. That's twice as good. Due to the pandemic, we will be offering our Sunday celebration live streamed to our YouTube channel at Columbus CSL. Now it is my privilege, honestly, it is a privilege to provide a few announcements for you this morning. Please join us for our ongoing Wednesday community Zoom connections. It's an opportunity to recalibrate and tune up in the middle of the week. We've added a new component to our spiritual practice on a Wednesday community connection beginning this week, July 22nd. We will be practicing the 40-day prosperity program developed by John Randolph Price. There are daily affirmations for you to practice, and on Wednesday evenings, we will Zoom together to do these affirmations together as a group and to magnify the effectiveness and the experience of it with ourselves and with each other. You might be wondering, hey Jay, how can I find out about this wonderful event and how can I participate? I'm glad I asked, or you asked. A link will be provided for you in our next CCSL Weekly Word e-newsletter. Wednesday, July 22nd will be day one. If for any reason you're not able or available to begin with us on that evening, you will still have the opportunity to sign up online and begin the daily affirmations in the comfort and divine presence of your own home. You can join us live any Wednesday you are available. And every Wednesday for the next 40 days, that's not 40 Wednesdays, that's 40 actual days, we will be gathered together and practice in our community. Now, I just want to clarify, I know I said 40 Wednesdays. What I meant by that is the practice of the 40-day prosperity program is for 40 days, and we will meet on Wednesdays to practice together. Now, also, I just want to reiterate or remind you the way to participate in this is on the e-newsletter you receive this week. You can sign up to receive the daily affirmations. And also, if you don't get that or you didn't see that, you can call our CCSL office. Look forward to seeing you there. It's going to be a great time. Number two, everyone is invited to join us today at 12 p.m. for the CCSL community meeting with Reverend Gregory Toole. The meeting topic is releasing old stories, creating new stories. You can find the Zoom sign-in in the weekly CCSL weekly word that went out recently and on our Facebook page. Also, it is on the slide that you can see right now, and you could call the CCSL office to get the same information. We've just been informed that the rescheduled Pride Parade on Saturday, October 3rd has now been canceled due to the pandemic. There are no dates to reschedule it to for 2020, so this Pride Parade will not take place. From my experience, and I know from many of you here, every day is a Pride Parade, and we so lovingly honor and respect and give thanks and blessings for all of our members. If you want prayer after service or any time throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website at columbuscsl.org. Or you can submit a prayer request online through our website. That's the news today. Let's all join and sing our opening song.
All right, good morning. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light. Everybody your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound if we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound if we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Yeah, 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 yeah. I see it in everyone. Yeah, your light is shining brighter and brighter every day. Yeah, 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 yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Good morning, Columbus Center for Spiritual Living community. Hope you're up on your feet after Carissa sung there. We can be totally uninhibited, right? Given that we're in our own space. So thank you for Carissa. Good morning, and we are Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, an inclusive organization. We embrace every person right where they are. We know that you are whole, perfect, and complete. God made you perfectly. So we welcome you here. Thank you for joining us this morning on our YouTube channel at Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do so now. And remember to give it a thumbs up and also to ring the bell, these little technical things that help us promote what we do in the world. We would love to have you join us, and also a recording of today's service will be on our Facebook page as well. So please read with me as it comes up on your screen, our mission statement. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. I'd like to thank our practitioner intern, Tammy Evans, for meditation and for holding the virtual high watch today for our service. And now I would like to introduce practitioner Jay Barnes, who needs no introduction, who will be serving on the platform today. Jay.
Thank you, Reverend Gregory. It's an honor and privilege to be here with you as well. And I will bring it down, the clownsiness down a little bit here for the sacred part of our service. And now a reading. The beauty of the truth, whether it is good or bad, it is liberating, by Paulo Coelho. Now let the music take us within.
Oh,
to join me here and now in this moment. Go within. And allow my words to be your words. Allow yourself to find that depth within, the depth of source. And it's here and now where I recognize there is one life, one power, one infinite presence. And I call it source or God or spirit. The name matters not. But what it is important is that we cannot define the presence by name, but we know it is present. We know it created the entire universe out of its own essence and being. And we know that it is love and vitality, that it is peace and harmony, that it is abundance and prosperity and wealth. It is health and vitality, passion. And it is unlimited. Not a little bit here or a little bit over there, but all of it present everywhere all at once. And recognize the breath that is breathing us, and knowing and declaring right here and now that that breath is the infinite presence of the universe. I know Source created me, and it created each and every one of us, and infuses and maintains our lives through its infinite vitality and presence and being. We are all expressions of Source. And so I declare today that this service to be one of the highest and greatest expression of God's infinite intelligence, vitality, wisdom, joy, and love. That no one is separated in any way, that no one is apart from God, but all of us are in the classroom and in the being and presence of Source. I know that every musician that is performing today is doing so from their highest and greatest expression of God, of Source within them, that God is celebrating life through song as their presence and being, as their performance. I know that everyone who is here in the communication and technology that is providing this for everyone is working easily and effortlessly and joyfully. I know that the talk that springs forth from Reverend Gregory today does so easily and effortlessly, providing a higher and greater awareness and spiritual food for all of us to participate in, to nourish us, uplift us. And I know and declare that the entire universe and the world, planet Earth, and all the people on the planet, I see and recognize and declare that the infinite good of God is leading, guiding, and directing all of us in our truest and highest, best possible way. It is good, very good. I give great thanks for this awareness, great gratitude for the opportunity to participate here today and to feed our souls. I release this, I let it go. So it is.
darkness will I heed the call? Can I make it? Will I stand or will I falter? Is this mine, my choice to alter? Yearning for the light, fighting for my life to begin within. I'll take just one more breath, feeling small. I can take this, give my all. I can fake this. Will I be what I'm meant to be? I can see that I was sent to live inside the light. I don't want this life to end. Suspend and take just one more breath in this moment. One more breath just for now. I will stay here and one more breath, one more breath.
Good morning, and thank you, Carissa. Beautiful. I'm Reverend Gregory Toole. I am your interim minister here. It's my delight to be your interim minister at Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. So good morning again. And thank you, Jay, for that wonderful introduction of the 40-day prosperity program. And I really hope you all will join us for that. This coming Wednesday is our kickoff, and the kickoff is kind of fun. It's kind of a fun kickoff to the practice. It's a great way to steep ourselves in these times, in these eternal principles that are not, they're independent of really what's going on in the world. They are spiritual truths that can manifest greater abundance and prosperity in our lives, regardless of circumstances and conditions. So let us come together and stand in this great truth together and be in practice together. So Wednesday evening, you can join us, and I look forward to that. You know, one of the things that and maybe I'm just late to the party, but one of the things that I've come to realize recently is that perhaps we're in this shelter in place in this virtual world for a lot longer than I originally was thinking. You know, perhaps this is the way we're going to be doing things for a while. And what that shifts for me is that we have to create our full community right now. Thinking of it as a temporary thing where it's just going to be something we're doing for a few months, then it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll just, kind of do, some of the things we do and eventually we'll come back. But, we might not be back in person for a while. We don't really know. So for me, what dawned on me is we need to start creating fully our community now and be fully engaged with each other vibrantly and even growing. Imagine that during a pandemic and a virtual community, that we would actually be growing. But I really got this picture that we're to thrive now, we're to grow now, we're to be fully in community with each other now. So I want to ask you to join me in creating that. And so, send your ideas to the board, to me, to Robin in the office, wherever. because it's time. It's time to just fully be in community with one another and utilize the technology and whatever else to enable us to do that. So I'm really excited about just creating robust community. We know that spiritual community is not about a building. It's really about the people. It's really about us. So let's find ways that we can fully be in vibrant spiritual community together, even in this virtual reality that we're in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today, we're talking about the truth will set you free. And I always like to follow that with, but first it might make you mad as heck, because sometimes we've held on to an old idea for so long that this new idea almost feels threatening to us. But that's what I'm really inviting us into today. I'm inviting you into having a new concept of yourself, because when we have a new concept of ourselves, that changes our whole life right there. Just from that beginning of having a new concept, a new way that we think of ourselves, a new way that we think of the world, a new way that we think of people around us, that shifts everything. There was a Michael Beckwith told a story back in 1997, so over 20 years ago, and I still remember that because it was the first time I had heard Michael Beckwith speak. And he told the story of a woman who went up to a spiritual author and said, hey, I've got this issue and you need to help me. And the spiritual author said, well, no, I don't do counseling or coaching or anything like that. I mean, I write books, but I don't do coaching. And the woman was relentless. And she said, no, I'm really clear that you are to help me. And so, he collected himself. And after a moment, he said, okay, I'm going to help you, because she told this story of so much drama in her home, and her husband was doing this and her kids were doing that. And he said, okay, I'm going to help you. He said, what I want to offer you is that you don't have a problem. And the woman was kind of astounded. She's like, what? I don't have a problem. I think she was even a little bit irate. The truth will set you free, but first it might make you mad as heck. And so, she kind of went on her way. But the whole way home, she contemplated this idea that I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem? Really? And she just contemplated that idea. Well, in just the contemplating of that idea, when she returned home, her family was totally different. Her husband greeted her at the door, or I don't remember all the details actually, but I mean, it was, you get the picture. Her husband was just, lovely with her, and her kids were just doing all the things that were felt harmonious to her. And it's just an example. It's a true example of how powerful it is to have a new concept, a new idea of ourselves. I want to share a quote from the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes, where he says, the range of our possibilities at the present time does not extend far beyond the range of our present concepts. That is so true. It is so true. When we brought together the two organizations, many of you know that Centers for Spiritual Living used to be called Church of Religious Science, and at some point many years ago, the church split into two. There was a dispute over how it should be organized, and it literally split in half. And in 2008, there started to be this movement to bring the two pieces back together. There was always this thought that, why would we be separate? We need to be back together. And I got to be part of that. I got to be in the middle of that and helping with many others, of course, to bring the two back together. And one of the things I was really clear on is that unless we had a new concept, a new idea, we weren't really going to make very much progress, because the old ideas, even though 50 plus years had passed since the two had split up, the old ideas still were there in terms of why the two had split up. And so in coming back together, we had to have a new concept that we started calling the third way. Let's look for the third way. There was this way that one organization did it and this way that the other did it. Now let's find the third way. We're looking for a new concept, a new way that we think about ourselves. And the rest is history, because through much, much work, 4 years later, we were officially, legally and in every other way, officially one new organization that brought these two disparate parts together. Ernest Holmes also said, we are limited only by concept and the refusal that comes from ignorance or laziness to remount the slope of thought, to remount the slope of thought, to come to a new idea, to come to a new thought, to come to a new way of looking at ourselves. I remember when I was looking at possibly going to graduate school, and I had this idea that I wanted to go to a top school, Ivy League, or at least, something that was like a really great school. But I had never known anyone who had done that before. But I held on to the concept that I want to do this. I want to do this. And I let go of all the ideas that said, who are you to do that? You don't even know anyone who's ever done that. No one around you has ever done that. And I began to hold this concept that this is something for me. This is something I can do. And just that shift of concept, it was amazing. In a very short period of time, without any specific effort, I wasn't trying to do this. Suddenly, I had all these friends who had already done exactly what I wanted to do, who had gone to top schools. I was applying to MBA programs, Masters in Business Administration. And suddenly I was around all these people who went to top schools. And looking at my background, what I had done already in my career, my education background, and who I was, they were like, well, of course you'll get in, which to me was almost offensive. What do you mean, of course I'll get, it's because it was such a far out idea to me that I would be able to get in to a top school, even though I always did well in school and I thought of myself as intelligent. It was still a very foreign concept to me that I would get into somewhere. And the bottom line is I ended up going to MIT and getting accepted to a few top schools and having a few different choices. But it all began with having a new concept. It all began with beginning to entertain a new possibility for myself. And this is the teaching of Science of Mind. And it's actually, for me, the beauty of the teaching of Science of Mind, that we can begin simply to entertain a new idea, and that in itself begins to create a change and a shift in our life and in our world and in our experience. So today, the invitation is to have a new concept of ourselves, to have a new concept of yourself. So many of us have bought into concepts about ourselves that are not only not true, but they're also harmful to us. Harmful in the sense that they don't allow us to be the most vibrant self that we're here and meant to be. Some of those ideas are, I'm not good enough, or I'm not enough in general, or I don't do enough, or I don't have enough, or I'm a bad person. There's something wrong with me. All of these ideas, or my body, there's something wrong with my body. I'm not smart. I'm not creative. All these ideas that we have bought into about ourselves, that simply by entertaining those ideas creates a certain reality for us. And so today I'm inviting you to really examine what concepts you have about yourself, and are those concepts creating what you want in your life? And if they're not, then what concept would? What would you have to start? What concept would you have to start having about yourself to begin creating a new reality for you, a new way that life is showing up for you? So the truth is, some truths about you is that you're whole, perfect, and complete. You're absolutely worthy of all good. You are loved by life. You are loved by God. You are loved by the universe. There is nothing in the universe that is against you. All of life is conspiring for your good. You are enough. You have enough. You do enough. How about that? Enoughness. You are enough. You do enough. You have enough. That is the truth about you. You are good at your core. You are good to the core. Can you stand it? Can you stand it to embrace that you are good at the core? There is nothing wrong with you. And you are good at the core. You are good just as you are. You are beautiful. You are amazing just as you are. Can you take all that in? How does that feel to embrace yourself at that level? To embrace yourself so fully, to see yourself as the divine sees you, to see yourself as divinity, the idea that divinity had in bringing you forth into the form and the particular way that you express and the particular way that you show up. Right? We've got our height, we've got our weight and our body type, we've got our skin color, we've got our gender, we've got all these different things about us. We've got our sexual orientation, we've got all these different things. And we get to accept that we are perfect as we are. We were made perfect in the image and likeness of divinity, and we are divinity in expression. What would it be like for us if the only concepts we had about ourselves were these spiritual truths? Well, one, we would be creating such a much more robust and expansive life for ourselves, and so many of the things that seem to be problems and obstacles for us would begin to melt away. Let's breathe on that for a moment. Yes, yes, yes. So what is the truth that will set you free today? The truth will set us free. What is the truth that will set you free today? What concept that if you began entertaining that concept, if it were true about you, let's say it that way, what concept, what idea, if it were true about you, your life would be totally different right now. So we start there. What idea or concept, if it were true about me, wow, my life would be amazing. If that were true about me, if that were true about me, my life would be just so amazing. And then begin to know and entertain that concept and that idea as your reality, that this is the truth about me. That this is, because there's this power in the universe, there's this creative medium, as we teach in Science of Mind, this law, this perfect law that really is responding to our own concept of who we are. It's not trying to define who we are, it's responding to our concept of who we are. So what concept that if you began to entertain that concept today of who you are, it would be like, oh, wow, that's an amazing life. So many ways that we think about ourselves that suddenly have us in limitation. I always thought of not always, but for a very long time, I thought of myself as not being creative. And what a limiting idea. And then to find, as I came into Science of Mind, that not only am I creative, but creativity for each one of us is, we can't help but be creative. We are always creating. And what limited me is my idea of what creativity looked like. It's like creativity looks like this. Creativity looks like those people who can paint a beautiful painting or who can draw a beautiful drawing, which may be possible for me as well, if I ever just chose that that's an area that I want to express in. But my creativity comes forth much more in the form of ideas and presentation of ideas and education and teaching and ways of presenting and new concepts and new ideas. That's how my creativity shows up. New concepts, new ways of looking at life, new ways of presenting life, new ways of being in life. And many other ways my creativity shows up. But the bottom line is, I held this concept of myself as not creative. And of course, that shuts off a whole part of me. And so this is the truth of you as well, that you are creative. You are absolutely creative. And the only question becomes, how do you want to channel that creativity? And what are your natural gifts and talents that allow your creativity to flourish and bloom, The other idea is that we're not smart. That's a terrible misconception of ourselves, that we're not intelligent. How could we possibly be not intelligent, not be smart, if in fact infinite intelligence resides at the center of our being? Well, we've limited our concept of what intelligence looks like, and our society has created a very narrow definition of intelligence, and the people who express in that particular narrow vein are considered the smart people, the intelligent people. The reality is intelligence shows up in an infinite number of ways, and art would be a form of intelligence, right? That's a form of intelligence. That's a way that infinite wisdom expresses as a form, right? So there's this infinite spectrum of how intelligence shows up. And so we have to realize that we're very smart, we're very intelligent, we have infinite intelligence within us, and have that new concept of ourselves. Or people sometimes with technology, people who didn't grow up with technology, some of the younger people, but not all of them. Some younger people also are kind of shy away from technology, but many people have made up the idea that I'm not good with technology. I can't do technology. And the more that idea gets entrenched, the further and further away we get from the ability to be okay with technology. And the moment we begin to embrace it, and I actually had a real live demonstration of this just recently. Someone I was working with, they kept saying to me, I'm just not good with technology. I'm just not good with technology. And they were having so many problems with technology. Things that you couldn't even imagine would happen with technology was breaking for them and not working for them. And I finally said to this person, you probably need to change your relationship to technology. You probably need to shift your idea about how you are with technology. Well, she came back to me a week or two later and she said, wow, thank you for telling me that. She said, I'm already having a shift in my experience with technology just by stopping entertaining that idea that I'm no good with technology and beginning to shift my relationship to technology. It's all about our concepts. What concept do we have about ourselves? What do we feel we're worthy of? What do we feel we're good at? What do we feel we can do? And I always say that none of us really know what's possible for us because our possibilities are unlimited. So we don't really know what's possible for us until we actually try. And one of my greatest, most poignant, for me, kind of comical examples of that was when I used to play tennis. And there was a woman, I used to play in these drills at a tennis club. And in the drills, there would be people of all different ages. And there was a woman probably in her mid-70s. And I got paired up with her for this particular exercise in the drill, where we were playing against another two people. And a ball came and she didn't even run for it. And it went by. And I said, I'm curious why you didn't go for that. And she said, well, I just had my knees replaced. And my quick humor came forward. And I said, well, heck, you've got the newest knees in here. you should be doing better than anyone. You've got the newest knees here. Next time ball came over, really difficult shot. This woman ran backwards, chased this ball down, knocked it back across the net. And was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. What concepts do we have of ourselves that are limiting us? What concept do you have of yourself that is limiting you? And what new concept could you start entertaining today that would change your life, that would set you free? It's so powerful and on some level, so simple. Just the shifting of how we think about ourselves, how we think about the world, how we think about other people. What's the new concept that you're being called to entertain about yourself, that if that were true about you, your life would be totally different? And then begin to accept that as being true about you, because your possibilities are truly unlimited. We have only limited it ourselves by the concepts that we have had about ourselves. So powerful, so powerful. Yes. So How do we do this? Let's get practical for a moment here. The first thing we do, the first step really is awareness. It's hard to make any change in our lives or create any change in our lives if we're not even aware. So the first step is awareness. We become aware of what concepts I'm having about myself that are limiting me. Beautiful. That's a beautiful beginning right there. If today you just become aware of the concepts that are limiting you and maybe start to have some awareness of what those concepts would be that would expand your life, that would create newness in your life, that would set you free this day. That would be a huge step right there. If you just took step one, awareness. But don't stop there. Go to the second step, which is decision. Decide today, if you will, what it is that you are going to begin entertaining as a concept of yourself. Something new, something expansive, something that gets really exciting to you. Like, wow, could that be possible? And don't limit your possibilities. Just start entertaining that idea. It's a powerful thing. And then take the third step, which is commitment. Make a commitment. You've gotten the awareness. You've gotten the awareness of what concept will expand you. You've made a decision to begin entertaining that concept. Now make the commitment, because it's not a short-term thing. It's something that you're going to be working with, right? It's something you're going to be bringing into your daily practice. So make a commitment. You know, if we really want something, if we really want to create something new, we've got to commit to it, right? So make a commitment that now this is my new life. This is my commitment. I'm going to now live my life this way. I'm going to live my life with that concept of myself, and make that commitment. And then consciousness would be the fourth step. Consciousness. Bring your consciousness to it. Bring your attention to it. Bring your highest spiritual attention to it. Right? And take it into your spiritual practice, take it into your meditation, take it into your prayer, take it in, create some affirmations for yourself around it, right? Bring that consciousness into it. And then go back and repeat, because the awareness will have to come back again, right? Because we'll find ourselves in the old habitual way that we've held about ourselves, because let's face it, we've held it for a long time. So it will come back up again, and then our awareness will need to kick in, where we say, oh, wow, look at that. There that is coming up again, that old concept of me. Now let me remember this new concept of me that I am now entertaining, that I am now embracing, that I am now affirming and claiming for myself. And we just go through that, and we go through that little cycle. You know, it's like repeat all of that. And then eventually this new concept takes form in our experience in amazing ways, simply because we have a new idea of ourselves. And it's really not that hard to have a new idea of ourselves. We just have to be willing. We just have to be willing. And yet it's so powerful, because our concepts really do define how we're going to show up, how life is going to show up to us. So won't you today, for you and for the world, really entertain a new concept about yourself that changes everything, that sets you free this day? Thank you so much. And let us take that into prayer. And so in this moment, I simply remember this all power, this one presence, this one life, knowing it is whole, perfect, and complete. And then knowing that that one whole, perfect, complete life that is God, that is divine, that is good, is my very life. It is the very life that is breathing through me, that is expressing through me. And this is the truth of each person who is listening and viewing the service today, that each one is a unique way that this infinite power, presence, intelligence, love is expressing. And so today we embrace that divine truth of ourselves. We let go of all of those ideas that are just not true, They're just stories we've made up about ourselves. We let go of the stories that don't serve anymore. We let go of the concepts, the ideas, the beliefs we have about ourselves that just don't serve us. They don't represent who we want to be, who we are, and what we want to create in the world. And so we let go in this moment. In this moment, I join with each one in knowing that the power and the presence and the love of God are entering into each one in such a way to dissolve these old ideas and these old concepts that we are now saying that we are ready to release and let go of. And I know that the answer from Spirit is yes. Yes, our very entertaining of that idea that I am ready to release this idea of myself is the power unto that law to right now dissolve them in our experience and in our being. And with those dissolved, I know that those concepts that we are now willing to entertain, willing to embrace, willing to affirm about ourselves are right now expanding in our being, expanding in our awareness, and everything that we need to see, that we need to know, that we need to do, that we need to be. This great presence, infinite presence of love, intelligence, wisdom is right now expressing through us, transforming us, transmuting all that is unlike it. And so I know right now that we are absolutely supported by life in this new concept that we have for ourselves. And I know that we have the strength, the courage, the wisdom to continue on the journey with this, to not give up, to not let it go, to say that this is the new concept I have of myself, and to be that committed. And so I know that we are absolutely supported in all of this. And so therefore I know that this day our life is changed and we are set free. I am so grateful for this truth, so grateful for this awareness, so grateful for all the ways that we are set free to be fully expressed in the amazingness that we are this day. In gratitude, I let this be. I release it to that immutable law, that creative medium of life that only knows to say yes. It just accepts the concepts that we impress upon it. And so therefore, I know as I have impressed these concepts upon it, that it is done just as I have declared, and all is well. I let it be, and I invite you to ground it and accept it with me and for you by saying with me, and so it is. And we'll bring Carissa back for her wonderful music. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Toole. That was amazing. That's so timely, particularly for me. So I invite everybody now to just take all that goodness, those wonderful reminders he's just given us, and move your body, claim your freedom to be yourself and to express as your true self. Hold on to me, don't let me go. Who cares what they see? Who cares what they know? Your first name is free, your last name is done. 'Cause we still believe in where we're from. Man's white flower, it's an every living thing. Mind use your power, spirit use your wings. Freedom, 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 freedom. Hold on to me, hey, don't let me go. Cheetah needs to feed, run antelope. Your first name is free, last name is dumb. 'Cause you still believe in everyone. When the baby first breathes, when the night sees the sunrise, when the whale hunts the sea, when man recognizes freedom, freedom, electric one. Does it shock you to think he left us the sun, atoms in the air, organisms in the sea, creator, creation are made of the same thing. Freedom, 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 freedom.
Thank you so much, Carissa. Beautiful. And I hope you all could see all of our nodding heads and dancing bodies, especially Tammy. I hope you all could see Tammy. She was getting down. Girlfriend was getting down over there. Thank you for that, Carissa. It's now time for the giving of our gifts. Thank you so much for the way you continue to support the center during these times. And we do, during these times, so many of our expenses stay the same. Including we still pay rent, by the way. I don't know if all of you know that, but we have a lease. So of course we still pay rent, and our giving is down somewhat. So I just invite you to consider that we still need your financial support, and all of those of you who are giving, thank you so much for the ways that you give. We really appreciate your financial gifts, and allows us to continue to support you spiritually and to be in community together. And I really look forward to expanding the ways, as I mentioned earlier, that we're in community together during these times. So your donations just help us fulfill our vision statement to create a world that works for everyone. As we engage with the law of circulation, we remember that God is our source, and we are circulating Spirit's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. Please say this affirmation with me if you would. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied and abundantly, and so it is.
And so breathing in from that divine place within, and knowing and recognizing the infinite wellspring of unlimited divine presence in the universe. For the universe is the expression of infinite giving, infinite abundance, and divine prosperity. It is everywhere present all at once, and it breathes each and every one of us here, now, and always. So breathing from that space, recognizing our divine oneness with this essence, with this being, and declaring that the gifts of the universe are flowing to our center and through our center, uplifting and expressing a higher and greater vitality and passion of life and living. Columbus Center is richly supplied and divinely overflowing with wealth, abundance, with spiritual practice, joy, harmony, and vitality, and that each and every gift coming from the giver, that giver is divinely supplied and wonderfully expressing it's their highest and greatest good now and always. I declare that abundance circles back, flowing into all of our lives, uplifting, integrating, and joyfully expressing passion and loving beingness for life. I release it, I bless it, I let it go. In deep gratitude, we sing together.
And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Thank you. Let us thank Carissa Holmes, along with Tony Bernardi on piano, Steve Partakes on bass, and Joe Nelson on drums, who have collaborated their musical talents to provide the music for today. Thank you all that have joined us today for the Sunday celebration. And if you are joining us for the very first time, we welcome you. Thank you for being here. And we would love to send you a welcome packet in the mail with information about us. You can call our office or send us a private Facebook message and we'll send you that. Also, if you are not receiving information about our services, please call the office or send us a private Facebook message. And so let us just give thanks for everyone who participated in the service today. And I invite you to say this blessing with me. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is.
Yeah, keep dancing. Have a beautiful, blessed week.